We back beyond the game.
Welcome back to episode 5.
This
Damn.
is episode 5. Holy lick. You know what that means? That's halfway to 10. That's halfway to 20, which is almost 25, which is halfway to 50, which is halfway to our 100th episode.
To the century.
Ooh. We're on 5. We're on 5. I think big. I think a lot.
We're so close to 100.
Oh my gosh. We're closer than we've ever been.
0 to 100, baby. It just happens.
Oh, welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone's had a great week, whether you are Canadian or not. For some reason, you've decided to tune in to listen to us talk about Canadians.
Yeah.
Canadians and Canadian teams and Canadian sports. Things happening, well, Canadian-wise.
Things happening globally.
Global.
I mean, for all this big stuff happening in the world, such as the U.S. election just went down, the sports does not change.
Sports do not change. Sports keep on going on. And It's been a decent week. Well, our biggest things this week are updates from last week's events. There she is. Set up your chair right here. We've been waiting for Callie. We've been waiting for Kate.
It's that time. However, as we've started doing last week, we've got a sponsor for this episode.
That's right.
We've got Blonyx. Once again, they have backed us up once more. So, Blonyx is a sports nutrition brand for the growing number of people who train with athletic ambition. Whether that's racing your first triathlon, competing in functional fitness, or simply enjoying your sport for as long as possible. Their science-backed products are designed with real food ethos to have a perceptible impact on your performance and recovery. And Blonyx is with you at every stage of your athletic journey, offering expert guidance and resources to make achieving your athletic ambition faster, easier, and ultimately more enjoyable.
Blonyx.
So, take the next step towards your athletic ambition and use the code BEYOND at the checkout to save 10% on Blonyx sports nutrition products. So,
Probably the thing I use the most is the creatine. Creatine is like the most consistent among any of the supplements that I use, because sometimes if I'm not feeling like I need beta-alanine, sometimes if I'm not feeling like I need extra electrolytes, creatine is pretty much in any form of concoction that I'm putting in there for the day. Whether I'm working out or not, I'm gonna have that.
I'm a sucker for the beta-alanine, just because I hate the lactic acid burn. I don't like hitting the wall, man. And when I do, I become the drama.
I like the lactic acid burn. It tells me when to stop.
Yeah, I don't get that pleasure. The guys at the gym don't let me do that. If I stop, I get yelled at.
You get mocked.
I get mocked.
People don't mock me. I'm the bodybuilder of the CrossFit gym.
They
mock me in other ways.
I'm the portable fridge.
Nice.
I'm big, white, and boxy. I don't move too quickly.
2 doors to open. Because he's cold. Because he's ice cold. That's why they call him the fridge.
2 doors, Jesus. I don't know about that.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Let's go. We are talking...
talking recaps. Recaps and updates.
Recaps, updates. I think we're 5 episodes in now, so it's always recaps and updates, but until like some big events start going on.
It's been a wee bit quiet in the Canadian sports world from what we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you guys out there have any sports or athletes that you're following who are Canadian, and we're missing them, just make sure you shoot us a message. Let us know about it so that we can jump on board the following train and let everyone else know about them.
Yeah, do some research. We get to if you have some athletes that we don't know about that you just want to highlight. That's what this whole thing is about, getting to know some Canadian athletes who are out there doing their thing, and we want everyone to know about all the stuff that's going on. One thing I just thought of is like we should probably look into like all the field hockey that's going on. We have a lot of ice hockey talk on the podcast, but there's so much field hockey, and we know a lot of people who are involved in it. But we should look at
There's a little bit of field hockey happening right now.
Oh.
So over the weekend and through this week, we actually have was it this week? Yeah, it is this week. A bunch of our Masters athletes are down in New Zealand. competing in the World Champs for the Masters Field Hockey.
Nice.
So locally here, we have a bunch of athletes coming from the West Van Field Hockey Club who seem to be quite regulars on the national teams through the different age groups. So they're all down there, looking like they might have some pretty good performances. But Canada, we are growing as a field hockey nation. We're getting there slowly.
Yeah, being in West Van, I'm seeing how much field hockey there is here. I don't think I've seen more field hockey in my life. So it's just, cool to know that we've got so much going on. And go Masters. Go Masters, boys.
Let's go.
Masters women going too, I wonder?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Both men and women, down there having at it. So
well, hopefully
we'll see if anyone comes back with the trophy or
what do they have?
medal. I believe it's a trophy.
Medal?
Maybe
Trophy, medal?
Probably medal. It's world champs.
Pride. They come back with their pride. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. And then, obviously a lovely, big and exciting one for us lads here. For someone who's so local, Jamey-Lynn Horth over in Edmonton last Saturday. No, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
It was this previous Saturday. It's November 6th today,
it is.
I believe. So whichever Saturday is before that, that's when she...
This Saturday just gone.
Yeah,
she crushed it. It was an absolute stellar of a fight. It came down to split decisions between the refs, judges. She ultimately came out on top, so that brings her UFC record to 2-1.
2-1?
2-1.
2-1.
Yep.
Yeah, I was working at Lulu when it was on.
Oh.
And...
Because, she's the Lulu ambassador, isn't she?
She's also a Lululemon ambassador, so I was working there. I was on... I was just starting, or I was on a lunch break. I can't remember. And her fight just started. And we all kind of rotated, just kind of going in to...
Having a squizzy.
Having a watch. And I got to watch the whole third round. I didn't get to see the actual result, but I got to see her really turn it on in the third there, because I know it was a split decision. Not a split decision. It was 1-1, and then she won the third. I can't remember how. I know she won.
Yeah.
And it was from various opinions of the people who were watching that she lost the first one, won the second one, and then the third one, I'm guessing she won by a little bit or something like that. So
yeah, I believe it's, what do they call it? Significant hits. I think it's what the judges term it as. I think. Yeah. Something of that nature. I mean, guys out there, correct us if we're wrong, but so it was pretty close in the scheme of things. But yeah, came out on top. I did dig her hairdo. Did you see that? The braids?
Oh, yeah. Well, you got it, especially...
There was nothing there to grab.
Nah.
Absolutely nothing.
I feel like most women in the U.S., not most, but I've seen many who have the braids just because there's just not left anything to get stuck or pull or...
I wonder if you could wear a swimming cap.
It'd be so hot.
Could you imagine?
It'd be too warm. And you couldn't hear.
What are you going to hear?
I don't know. I feel like it's one of your senses. When you're fighting, you probably need to be able to hear.
Come at you as you're staring at them?
I don't know. I'm not a fighter. You probably need hearing, right? I mean,
if I'm staring at you, I probably don't need to hear you.
I guess so.
Especially if you're talking crap. Your socks smell funny.
A balance thing.
Yeah. Maybe they insult each other like that. Your socks smell funny.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you can't hear, you won't get insulted.
There you go.
See?
Or the crowd. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you don't want to hear the crowd.
More focused.
Zend.
Yeah. Good job, Jamie.
Yeah, so stellar after that. I was pretty stoked as a local. That was awesome. And we had a bunch of other Canadians. We had 3 others from BC who did well there.
On the card as well?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we won all 3 as BC.
Yay, BC.
So BC's stepping up in the fight world. So.
Yeah, this one was in... this card was in Edmonton.
Yeah.
We fought in Edmonton. My hometown.
Yeah.
Wow.
Edmonton got around it. Crowd was electric.
I bet they were awesome. I was so busy watching her, I didn't pay too much to the crowd, but I only got to watch 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty
awesome.
Pretty pumped in there.
And then turning away, Jamie's also our athlete of the week.
Of course, she has to be.
Just it's been a long slog. I've got to meet her a few times, and it's just the hours she puts in to train. It's amazing when you talk to some of these high-level athletes, just how much they spend training, the sacrifices they're making from, lifestyle choices to like career opportunities that they might have been able to step into to pursue this sporting greatness, or as Blonyx would say, athletic ambition. It's just you just have to shake your head sometimes and go, I don't know if I can do that. Like, it's just a lot that they have to do, and then they're trying to support themselves, support like their coaches, everyone involved with trying to make them succeed. Because it's never just one person, is it?
No, it's always a team. For athletes, it's always a team. I mean, in the end, the one person gets most of, if not all, the acknowledgement and stuff like that. But it's all the people who carried them to that point. So, as a lot of things are.
Yeah.
As a lot of that gets inspirational here. As a lot of things are. It's never just solo.
Yeah. So it's always amazing, and that's the best thing about our athletes of the week that we pick. Is a lot of these ones that we are picking. If you look at a lot of their success and the interviews they have after their successful moments, they let us all know how much everyone else played a role in getting them to where they are now. So from Bumstead to Chubba, it's been pretty cool.
There was one, not Canadian related, but I saw a post, and it could probably be easily be wrong, of course, but the source was on Instagram saying that LeBron pays $1.3 million or something for his recovery every single year, or his fitness, right? So the best player in the world, who's probably, and again, I don't watch as much basketball, but from what I've heard is that he's just so talented that where he doesn't necessarily need to put, some people may have said he doesn't need to put as much time into developing this skill because he has so much talent to bring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, sorry. Someone who's so talented. It's not that he is actually leaving the skill behind. He's bringing on a team, paying $1.3 million to whatever different resources, team members, nutritionists, trainers, everyone. Even the most talented person still needs people.
Full-time physio.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm surprised that physio doesn't live as
got a connection in with that physio.
You do?
Yeah.
You know that physio of LeBron?
Well, I know his business partner really well.
You know the business partner of the physio of LeBron?
Yeah.
Nice.
So the physios, they own MyoDetox. So if you're a Vancouver person, you would have heard of them. MyoDetox, Physio Mob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know MyoDetox.
everyone knows them. So they've now got one down in LA because that's where he's based,
Wow.
looking after LeBron. So he's LeBron's physio. So fun fact there, but it's just like they get amazing people behind them to make it so they can focus on like the really specific things that are going to make them excel at their thing. And it's like if you leave the rest to people like us, like you can do the hard stuff, like the training.
Yeah.
If everyone else can make their life run smooth, it's like that's easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So. And then migrating into, more about teams, we're going to look at some team sports here.
Yes.
With the Whitecaps, because they're still in the MLS.
They're still in?
Still in. We've got one more game to go. So it's out of 3. Away goals will be the difference.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you tie, if it's one win each and then a draw or whatever like that, where it draws, it's the away goals that are the decider. So it's not, I learned, it wasn't actually the accumulated goals that matter. It's if you draw in the 3 matchups, it's the away goals that are the determiner of who is the winner.
I think you did say that properly last week because that's how I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we managed to keep them to nothing.
Away?
So we are currently 1 goal up on the away. So if we draw this next match, which is on the 8th, so today's 6th, then we will win.
So draw or win?
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Sick.
Yeah. Because I believe we'll be the away team as well.
And then what is this for? What level of the?
Oh, this is the first round.
This is the first round. Okay.
So we won the wild card. We're now into the first round,
Yep.
first brackets. We still got a while to go.
Because it still gets spicy after that, doesn't it? It gets
100%.
so much worse after this team. I thought you said last week.
Yeah, there's some really good teams
Yeah.
on our side of the bracket.
Great. That's
So-
okay. We've already won 1-1. We haven't won yet. We haven't won yet.
No, we got to wait 2 more
Fair.
days. 2 more days to find out. Hopefully, look, we won 3-0. It was an absolute incredible match.
Yeah.
Like, Canada football, it's starting to show some really good success. So getting some good managers, some good players starting to show up on our Canadian teams. It's really good to see.
Right.
Especially the fact we managed to put 3 in.
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver is not known for their attacking ability. Usually quite good for defending. But yeah, so good to see.
Oh.
And then we migrate over to Canadian Football League. CFL, baby.
Yep.
Have you paid attention to any of it?
Sure didn't. I missed that. I didn't hear a thing.
Oh, God.
I didn't hear a thing about the Lions.
I did see one little article, and it was very quick. It was in and out. I was like, that's it. That's all we get to hear about
it's
the
all
CFL.
our coverage, yeah.
I'll be honest. I know why. Because we lost. So, BC Lions lost to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Yeah. They beat the Lions 28-19.
Okay.
So, kind of close, but kind of not close.
Right.
Right? Like somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
And then the Argonauts won their matchup as well against the Redbacks.
Yep.
So that was a little bit of a surprise. Didn't expect that one.
Yep.
They won 58-38.
Oh!
Big scoring
What
game.
is this? That's nasty.
Apparently the D teams did not, defensive teams didn't do very well.
No.
Because that's a big scoring
That's
game.
horrible.
So the Rough Riders are going to go up against the Blue Bombers. Blue Bombers have had a great season, so it is going to be...
Yeah. Isn't Blue Bombers like the best team this year?
The Alouettes are.
Are the Alouettes are?
Alouettes are. Blue Bombers are second.
Okay.
Right? So 1 and 2 for the season. Everyone's up against them now. So you've got the Argonauts are up against the Alouettes.
Yep.
And then we've got the Rough Riders up against Blue Bombers. So out of these two teams, that'll be who we see progress through to the CFL final in the coming weeks. So it's going to get exciting. So we're at the tail end. We're like right there.
I think I picked Toronto last time to beat the Redbacks. So I'm going to stick with Toronto.
Stick with Toronto.
The Argonauts versus the Alouettes.
I would love the Rough Riders to come out on top over the Blue Bombers. So Blue Bombers, Winnipeg.
Yeah. As an Edmonton man, I think I'm not going to cheer for the Rough Riders. I'll cheer for Winnipeg instead.
You guys don't like Saskatchewan? Is there a rivalry there, or is it just...
It only in football. Because there's not a lot of football. So I reckon we're the Elks versus the Rough Riders and the BC Lions. Anytime those people come into town, it's like, get out of here. So I'm going to cheer for the Blue Bombers.
Yep.
Blue Bombers in Toronto is what I'm hoping for. And then I'll decide when we get to the other one.
Fair enough.
Next week.
And then, we got a bunch of tennis happening this week. So we've got Gabrielle Dabrowski. She is in the how do I pronounce it? It's the it's in a final for the WTA, so the ladies tour.
Yep.
It's the I'm gonna have to Google the name. WTA.
Who's that main Canadian tennis gal?
The one we've spoken about recently.
She's also a Lulu ambassador, I believe. Trying to remember her name. This is great stuff right here for everybody. But WTA, and I wonder what Hey Jordan, go ahead and cut this a little bit here. Go back a little bit. We'll cut this. If you're watching this.
Here we go.
Hold on. Just give me one, two. That's like a reminder for me to see that.
So, it is the WTA finals of... Man, you're going to have to say it for me.
All right. I got you.
I'm butchering it.
Here we go. So, we have...
My tongue won't get around.
Gabrielle Dabrowski and Aaron Routlife staved off a match at the WTA finals Riyadh.
Is that how you say it?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, so she was in that, which was awesome. So they saved the match point to progress through. So, we'll see how that all unfolds.
So she's still going up the tournament, basically?
I believe so. I think she's in the finals now. So.
Nice.
Or in the final rounds. So that's pretty cool to see some tennis players. I saw the prize money for that tournament is, I believe it's just shy of $16 million.
Wait, for one, not for the winner.
For the winner. Oh, big money.
For the women?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Dude, chicks tennis is like insane.
Look, this is why I'm here on the podcast to learn all about 16 mil for the winner.
I believe so.
Holy lick. That's just for one tourney? Is this the tourney of the year? No. There's more. Obviously, there's not. It's not Wimbledon, or it's not the one in Spain, or it's not...
Yeah, so thanks to Saudi backing, the finals are offering a record 15.2 million tournament prize money, up from 9 million last year.
So total prize money for whoever makes it to the final then. So you probably get more, a certain amount as it goes down in placing. So maybe she'll, out of the 15.2, maybe she'll get like 10 million or 7 million. The next person will get 4, 3. I don't know if she gets...
Okay, so the winner...
Yep.
2.5 million.
Okay.
There we go, sorry.
See?
Total prize money of 15.2.
Got it.
But the winner walks away with 2.5.
And then just...
And then the winner of each semi-final is 1.2.
Whoa!
So I believe that means the final person...
You're gathering money as you go then, I reckon.
I think so. I think it's one of those ones, yeah.
Wow. So if you're in the same bracket as the winner, you're hooped.
Yeah, you lose out on money.
Whereas if you're in the other bracket,
yeah, you could do rather well. Yeah.
You do great.
Yeah, so if each player receives 300 for appearing, 335,000 for just showing up.
Wow.
And then the prize for the round robin match win is 350,000.
Okay.
And then each semifinal win is each semifinal will receive 1.27.
Wow.
And then each winner of the final will receive 2.5.
Wow.
I don't know if it is accumulated because that could get huge real quick.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it is. I think it is. I think it's
win.
just wherever you finish.
Okay, that's what you get?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think if you win a round robin match, but then you don't progress past that, it's 350. And then if you're in the semi-final, it's 1.2, and then if you win the final, you get 2.5, which means the other person who's in the final they got the semi-final prize money. So I think that's how it works. Otherwise, that becomes massive, that amount.
The stacking amount?
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine?
We'll have to do some calculating.
You'd walk away with
we'll do some calculating.
7 to 4.5 million if it's stacked.
Sounds about right to me. 15 million cash prizes total?
Maybe, yeah.
Could be possible.
God, you could get a massage or two with that.
Right?
That doesn't sound too shabby at all.
The Cove. West Vancouver.
Yeah. They do massages.
I've heard of them.
That's kind of us outside of the New York Marathon went down.
How'd the marathon? Any
no Canadians, unfortunately,
Canadians in the top 10 or anything like that?
No, yeah. I didn't expect we'd see many after last week's national champs.
Right.
It's pretty close backup for a lot of athletes. Like,
oh, right.
You know, like the New York's wonderful, but I don't think it was on the radar for a bunch of them. Yeah. However, in other exciting news to do with events, the Sydney Marathon, I should say, has just been added to the Abbott's majors. So Abbott's majors are the big marathons of the world. So it's like the New York, the Boston, the Chicago, the London, the Berlin, and the Beijing marathons. So they are our big stop events. They're the ones you want to tick off. If you're a marathoner, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not a marathoner, these are the ones that people who do marathons, they want to get to all 7. Like the die-hard marathoners, they want to check off every one of those. And they're hard to get into. You've got to have qualifying time. So when you hear like Marathon World, people talk like, oh, this race is a Boston qualifying event or a New York qualifying or whatever it is. That's what they're talking about.
So all of these marathons, like New York, Boston, Chicago, all of those, they're only filled with people who have like fast times?
Yes and no. So there are, for certain age groups, you have different cutoff times. Okay. And then there are also allotment for like locals. And then if you are part of a company or you're doing fundraisers, there's also allotments for you to be able to get in.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
Because you can't just not have like those of us who are everyday runners
Not be allowed
wanting
in.
to have a crack at it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you live in Boston, like you kind of want to let some of the locals get into the Boston Marathon. Otherwise,
It's a little elitist.
the locals are going to hate you.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's got to be that, but you get a lot of people who are not from Boston who work their tails off to try and get a qualifying time to actually compete. So
is it now 8 in the Abbott?
there are now 8.
Whoa! Good job, Sydney. Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney.
Good job, Sydney.
Yeah. So
Wow.
pretty keen for that. That's gonna. I mean, it's already a big race, so it's just gonna get bigger now because now you got everyone else globally who are gonna be like,
I gotta add that to my list.
That's a major. I haven't done that one yet. So, yeah, we'll see how that all unfolds there. So that's exciting news for them. Yeah, and I believe locally, if we're talking Vancouver area, for those who are interested in running the Ninaka race, which is a ultra run. So an ultra is more than a marathon.
So it could be anything. 52 kilometers.
Could be 52. It could, technically speaking, be even 43 kilometers. It could be a step over, and technically speaking, it'd be a marathon. However, you will rarely find an ultra that is less than 45 kilometers. Typically, it's more than that.
Yeah.
So in the Vancouver world, we have this thing called the Ninaka.
Nice.
You run all 3 major peaks on the north shore of Vancouver. So you run up Cypress Mountain, and you run down, and then you run up Grouse, and then you run down, and then you go up to Mount Seymour, and you go down. And that's the Ninaka.
That's wild.
It is a savage
That
thing.
is so much elevation and de-elevation.
Yeah, a lot of up and down.
Yeah.
A lot of big slog. Especially the first part. The first part's real rough.
Yeah.
Like the Cypress one, apparently, is quite steep. Similar though to the marathons, which is why I brought it up. Is it's a draw. You don't have to qualify, but it's drawn. So it doesn't mean you automatically get in just because you register.
So you get picked out of a hat whether you get to run that year?
Pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Not a hat. I'm sure it's more sophisticated now.
could you imagine?
Yeah.
That'd be fabulous.
That'd be kind of fun, though. You sit there and you pull 100 names out of a hat.
Jenny.
Whoops. Sorry, that one fell on the ground.
I would live stream that. Could you
I would,
imagine?
I would
have-
live stream that, too.
You would have people stressing.
Hey, Knackers, if you want to host the draw of all of the people who are going to run it, we can do it right here. And we'll do that for an hour.
Hit
Full
us
names.
up. Let's go. Apparently, the rumor has it that the more you want to do it, the less likely you are to get in.
Well, that's how a lot of luck happens, isn't it?
Yeah, so
You just
apparently
let it
those
go
who
and
don't
then it
actually
happens?
want to do it seem to get in.
Mm.
That's what I've heard. And I was like, all right. So
Fair.
if you want to do it, just imagine you don't want to do it. Oh, you're tired.
I am tired today.
But that's all I got. And sporting world. Oh, up and coming. This weekend.
Wait. Before we do up and coming, let's do last week's NHL.
Ooh, yeah.
We got to do the NHL,
Ooh,
all right?
the
Or else
NHL.
I'm just sitting here reacting. Okay, so last week in the NHL, probably the biggest news was that Connor McDavid was going to be injured for 2 to 3 weeks. You know, one of the best players in the league.
Wasn't it an ankle injury?
It was an ankle injury. 2 to 3 weeks, possibly. This is November 6th, just for everyone again. He's going to be playing tonight already.
Wow.
So
What did they do? Put him on horse tranquilizer?
exactly. I don't know what they did, or because it's one of the best players in the world, they just overhyped how long he was going to be out.
Why would you do that though? What's
For
the
news,
theory?
the fact, like, it's like saying, whoa, like LeBron in his prime. LeBron's going to be out. He's going to be out for a month.
But does that do anything financially for anyone?
It brings traffic,
Does it?
news, traffic.
Oh, news traffic.
You know what I mean? It's news.
Yeah.
It's news.
Yeah.
Any good news, bad news, it's all news. So he's basically, it looks like he's only going to be out he was only out for a week, and he's going to play tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights.
I don't know if that's a great idea.
I agree. If they're rushing him, I don't think it's a great idea. If he's actually fine, sick. Glad to have him back.
The health guy in me goes, I hate teams.
Yeah.
For that very reason, is because like half the time it's also the athlete. Like these athletes are worth an absolute bomb to these teams, so it's
Yeah.
kind of they get a bit of sway.
Yeah.
And as like someone who's got the medical background, it's like, you know, I would honestly prefer some of these athletes to do the time to rehab it properly, than to like go back out there with a half-assed repair.
Yep.
And to, try to finish the repair whilst performing up against athletes who are just as good as them and have that same desire to win at whatever cost. And if they know you have that injury, where do you think they're going to target? You're the weak link.
The ankle.
Right? Like,
so we'll see if we don't have a lot of cheap shooters in Vegas.
Shooters?
So
what are they just
cheap
cheap
shotters?
So they just take what? Send the puck at your ankle?
No, they'll probably just hit you harder and you know what I mean, stuff like that.
In hockey, don't you hit people just hard anyway?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm thinking of people literally like taking a whack at an ankle or something like that when people aren't looking. That happens behind the refs all the time. You whack someone in the back of the calf where there's not as much protection. That happens all the time. So hockey. Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest bits of news.
Canadians are friendly, eh?
Yeah. A lot of these aren't Canadians.
Until you get them on an ice rink, and then it's rules are out, friendliness is gone.
Gosh, and
you
teeth
better
are
pour
gone
that
too.
maple syrup on because I'm about to knock you down.
It's hopefully not. Okay, I can't stand him getting injured again. But though in his stead, his assistant captain really stepped up. He had 6 points in 3 games, which is 2 points a game, which is great. Not Canadian, though, so we don't need to talk about him.
Is Sidney Crosby Canadian?
Yep. Sidney Crosby is, I believe, from Nova Scotia.
Okay, because I did see something interesting about him.
Yep.
Totally random about not really do his stats or anything, but I saw he stayed on to watch someone do his retirement.
That's right.
Most recent match. He and some other one from his team, they stayed on, which I thought was an awesome gesture. I thought that was really cool.
Well, this is Canadian related, it's adjacent, so we can talk about this. Yeah, so it was... this was all about Marc-Andre Fleury. I believe he has the second most games played or the most games played ever in history for a goalie.
That's insane.
Yeah, and I think so he's won a couple cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He won them with Sidney Crosby. He's also French. He's represented Canada, and so he's a great Canadian goalie. He'll be in the Hall of Fame one day. And this is believed to maybe be his last season. He's not playing with Sid anymore. He's actually in Minnesota right now. But I think that you're referring to is the game where Minnesota was playing Pittsburgh, and it was the last time that Marc-Andre Fleury might possibly be playing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I
know the rest of the team had left, and they were like, Crosby stayed out to watch the whole thing at the very end. And
Letang, as well as their other Russian player, Evgeny Malkin, they've been through it all together. Since they all got drafted, they've all been basically together, winning all those cups. So I think Letang is also Canadian, but Malkin is Russian. Yeah. So good job, Mark, if it is your last year.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, this is the thing.
He's classy.
People are actually nice to each other after the whistle blows.
Sid the Kid, he's very classy.
Sid the Kid?
Yeah, that's his nickname since he came in.
Why, because he's a goat?
No, because he was a kid back then.
No.
He was just a kid, that's all. And then, so we're looking at points-wise. So remember Cale Makar?
Oh, yeah.
Cale Makar, he was tied for first in the league with points. He is no longer first, but he's still second, only 2 points behind, which is great.
Who's gone to first?
First is now someone who I would have possibly submitted for Athlete of the Week, had about 10 points in the last week, which is wild. Also Canadian, his teammate, his captain, Nathan MacKinnon, one of the other best players in the game beside Connor McDavid and possibly even Cale Makar. So Nathan MacKinnon, he's going to make the Canadian roster when we do the Olympics and when we do the Four Nations Cup. He's from Nova Scotia as well, where Sid is from. And right now he's
What are they feeding them over there?
They're just farm. It's anything where they're fishermen, they're farmers, they're all big. But he's not incredibly big, but he's a bulldog. He's aggressive. He's awesome. But first in the league right now, 25 points, Cale Makar. He's got 23, so as a defenseman, he's still rocking it.
Still doing well.
West Van Boy still doing well as well. Sam Reinhart. So he was in first at one point. He's in fifth. He's still really close.
Okay.
He's got 21 points, right? Nathan MacKinnon he's got 25, so he's still quite close.
That's pretty close. That's tight.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. 1, 2, and 5. Still some good Canadians up there. And Other than that, Toronto's still kicking it in second place in their division, so they're in a playoff spot.
What about the Flyers, Winnipeg?
That would be the Jets. They're still in first. Oh my gosh, their record, they're 12. What I wrote
Where
down.
did I get the Flyers? The Flyers a team? Is that
the Flyers is Philadelphia.
God dang it.
Yep. It's close though. The Jets, they fly. Flyers, they fly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of other flying ones.
Oh man,
I'm sure. Anaheim Ducks, they fly.
That was a foot in mouth right there. Just
we're all learning here.
We just need to put a foot right there. Don't put fingers.
Winnipeg, first in the league still, 12-1. Like they're nigh unstoppable.
But the season's out of what, like 80, 60?
Yeah, it's at 82. But I mean, when you have basically
you're a tenth of the way.
When you've only lost one game by November, that's huge. This is back in the day. Mid 2000s, mid 2000s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
By the end of November, by American Thanksgiving, if you're not in the playoffs, it's kind of historically like it's been shown to be hard to get into the playoffs. So the fact that they're so far ahead in first, if they just keep an average of win-loss now, they're smoking it and making it into the playoffs again. Hopefully they just don't crash again. So, yeah. Winnipeg's doing great. Everyone else is doing all right. Edmonton's down there, home team. They're in fifth, but it's a close race in the Pacific Division.
Yep.
So.
Flames and
it goes
Canucks,
Vancouver third, Flames fourth, Edmonton fifth. All really close. 2 points, one win. So I was talking to someone today at the cafe when I got you, not that coffee, but the other one. He asked me how I think Edmonton's doing. And I said, it's really early. Still really early to know whether or not they're going to make the playoffs. It's, like you said, 80 games. We're only in between all teams, about 10 to 15 games all these teams have only played. So we're still early. Once we get 20 games in, we really know what we're cooking with. American Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
Proof is in the turkey.
Proof is in the stuffing.
Is that it? Don't in the turkey? Dog's passed out, mate.
Doggo's passed out.
It's gone.
Yeah. Anyway, you said you've got upcoming.
Next
week?
This weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, this coming weekend. So, those of you who like to work out and throw around heavy metal bars and plates and dumbbells, anything of that nature, I do have a fun event for you to pay attention to. It is called the Rogue Invitational. Now, the Rogue Invitational has traditionally been held down in Texas, of all places. However, this year they're making the trip across the ocean. They're jumping on planes and boats and all sorts, and they are now over in Scotland. Aberdeen, I believe it is.
If there's going to be any place to do the strongman besides in Texas, it's going to be Scotland. It's got to be.
Got to be.
Right?
So they're all over there. I believe I've started seeing some of them have shown up to get their kilts with their lovely colors.
Mitchell Hooper, is he competing? He's Canadian, right?
He's in strongman, and yes, he is. Yeah.
Nice.
So we have Mitch Hooper. We have a few other Canadians, such as, I believe, Jeff Adler.
Brent Fikowski. These are CrossFit athletes now. This is his last one, too.
This is his last. Brent Fikowski's retiring. So this will be his last comp.
Yep.
So Fikowski's from Kelowna.
Yep.
And then you've got Adler, who's from Montreal.
I believe he speaks a lot of French, so I reckon he's from somewhere in Quebec. Whether he's from Montreal, I'm not too sure.
And then we've got our lovely friend Pat Vellner.
Patty Bells.
So he's now. He was living on the island.
He's Toronto-based now, isn't he?
No, I believe he's Montreal way.
Oh, Montreal. That's right, with his coach, Michelle.
He grew up there, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's moved home.
Oh, really?
Kind of, I think.
Look at that.
Someone was telling me, the man's got a pretty good lick of French in him.
I've heard. This is recent updates that he can speak French.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, language love. No, sorry. So yeah, we got the strong man, strong woman.
Yep.
Strong. Do they have a different name?
Strong woman. Yeah.
Yeah, strong woman. So we get to see some lovely ladies. I don't know if we have any Canadian ladies in the strong woman though. But we do have Canadian men and women in the CrossFit, and we have Canadian men in the strongman competing. So that's going to be happening starting this Friday, our time. Going through for, I believe it's 2-3 days. So that'll be great. So yeah, if you are looking into something, that'll be a fabulous one for you guys to pay attention to outside of the CFL finals as well as we've got the MLS with the Whitecaps on the 8th. So, what's that, Friday? Friday's a good day. Now you got obviously hockey, NFL, making sure you're paying attention to any of the Canadians involved there.
Yeah.
And then the Raptors as well. We haven't paid attention to those. We do need to.
We really got to catch up and see on these Raptors. There's we're trying to give some love to some of the other sports, but so we should do a little feature. We should do a feature on basketball on the Raptors.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Let's see when they're playing next.
All right.
Raptors are playing
tonight.
Oh, they're playing tonight. Yeah.
I bet it's tonight. See?
There you go. So they play tonight against the Sacramento Kings.
Cool.
And then they play on Saturday against the Clippers.
All right.
So plenty of sport to watch.
What are you watching this week? You know, we'll see what y'all are watching this week. Let us know things you're looking forward to, Canadian sports-wise, or just sports-wise in general.
Yeah.
Or if there's any athletes that we're missing, or any events that we're missing that you think that we should bring up, that we should, or at least that we should cover. Let us know.
Next week we'll have some more stuff to cover with the winter sports because they're all kicking off a bit more. There's a few more events coming up with that.
Yep.
So such as the skating, speed skating, and the skiing, and then in a few weeks later, that's when we get to start kicking off with some more like snowboarding stuff and other crazy sports like that.
Lucy and I want to go snowboarding.
There'll be a bit more of that. Yeah. I mean, if you're anywhere on the West Coast here, you'll have seen the snow has started coming.
It's on its way.
It's on its way. So anyone who's keen on winter sports,
be ready.
The time is coming.
Time is nigh.
Winter is coming. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for however you consume this information. But yeah, we're excited for the weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with friends and buddies.
There you go.
Let's get you all involved. Make sure you let us know what you like, what you don't like, and what we can be better at or include if we're missing anything. And if you're an athlete or someone who knows anything about events, make sure you let us know. And if you wish to back an episode, give us a shout.
Give us a shout. Be on the game.
See you next week.
Kate.
She's back.
Yeah.
Kate's back.
Teamwork makes dream work.
Teamwork. Oh.